Authorities on Monday raided Supermicro's offices in Taiwan over the alleged smuggling of advanced AI chips to China. Prosecutors in Geelong also raided the offices of two other companies. They were investigating the export of AI servers containing Nvidia chips. The probe comes as the U.S. steps up efforts to stop advanced Nvidia AI chips from reaching China through third countries. Nvidia's most advanced AI chips used for training and running AI models are banned from sale in China under U.S. export controls. Restrictions on the flow of these chips are part of the race between Washington and Beijing to control the cutting-edge technology. All three companies say they are cooperating with Taiwanese authorities. To understand the significance of this investigation, our reporter LaMattina spoke to Olivia Shen, director of the Strategic Technologies program at the University of Sydney's United States Studies Center.
Taiwanese authorities have raided Supermicro's Taiwan office as they probe the alleged smuggling of Nvidia AI chips to China. Olivia, why is this raid significant, and does it represent to you a shift in Taiwan's approach to the enforcement of U.S. export controls?
I think it does signal a shift in terms of Taiwan being far more forward-leaning in enforcing some of these export controls. Now, we know that back in March, the US indicted three of the company's staff on charges of smuggling these Nvidia chips to third-party Chinese customers. And interestingly, at the time, the company itself was not named in the indictment, but now Taiwanese authorities have taken the step of raiding their offices, including the offices of a third-party part of the supply chain as well. So it's clear that Taiwan is taking this very seriously.
Now, Taiwan has not made re-exporting these chips to China a criminal offense. Do you expect the government to introduce stricter controls following this probe?
I think they would rather be seen to be cooperating with the US and with US investigators under the current regime, rather than having the US really force them to amend their legislation and make it a blanket crime for any re-exports into China, because that would really disrupt and undermine Taiwanese companies' orders and their business and their trade with China. They want to be cooperating and be seen to be cooperating in enforcing these measures now, rather than face further pressure or maybe even further restrictions from the US side.
Then, to what extent does this stricter enforcement represent Taiwan's own policy priorities versus responding to US pressure?
I think it would be very heavy pressure from the US side. As you mentioned yourself, re-exporting chips from Taiwan to China is not currently a crime in Taiwan. However, we have seen absolutely the US trying to strengthen and make more stringent export controls. They absolutely want to dominate in terms of AI. You can see increased pressures on export controls both at the hardware level, so for example at the layer of the chips, but also at sort of the software and the model level. The US export controls imposed most recently on Anthropic's Fable 5 and Mythos 5 is a really clear demonstration of that. The US wants to control that global supply chain, wants to make sure that supply chain is free from foreign interference and from Chinese smuggling. And so I think they're going to strengthen both the stranglehold on export controls at both the hardware layer and at the model layer. Now, from Taiwan's point of view, they absolutely have to cooperate, and they have to be seen to be cooperating as well.
That was Olivia Shen from the University of Sydney.